right, here we go now, baby. Sunday night football in the nation's capital. The Commanders playing host to the Seahawks. Joe and Jingles coming at you with our 4 total best bets for the Sunday night football game. Before we get into those, make sure you hit that like button and that subscribe button right down there. Now then, let us get right into the action. I'm going to start things off with a good old-fashioned full game spread bet, backing the road favorite, the Seattle Seahawks, favored by 3 points here. So an avalanche of trends and stats to back the Seahawks. Let's break a few of them down. So the Seahawks are road warriors. Look at this pattern going back to last season. 9 straight wins on the road, including going 3-0 straight up and against the spread. This season, they are number 1 in the NFL net yards per play on the road. They're number 2 in net yards per play, regardless of location. The Commanders are 20th in that category. So a lot of Commanders in prime time so far this season, right? And it's been very ugly. 0-3 straight up and against the spread in primetime games for Washington this season. Just a massive gap between these defenses, guys. Washington is 29th in yards per play allowed. Seattle is 3rd in that category. And I expect Seattle's offense to be able to feast on this defense. They've been lighting it up all season, tied for 5th in scoring, number 1 in yards per pass attempt. And that will be the path to victory through the air because they're taking on a Commanders defense that ranks dead last in yards per pass attempt allowed. Give me the Seahawks to cover as a 3-point favorite. Okay, Jingles, you like a Seahawk to get into the end zone. Who are you taking?
I've battled many times, and I've learned my lesson between choosing Kenneth Walker over Zach Charbonnet for a touchdown, and I've come to the conclusion that it's Zach Charbonnet or nothing in terms of betting on this backfield to score. And let's get Charbonnet for a touchdown. Plus 110 here, time of recording, and a price that I would take down to minus 115, even minus 120, I think is a safe spot. There's nothing wrong with being on the square side of things in a game like this, but Kenneth Walker at the longer price is not the angle you want. As I mentioned, it all comes down to the red zone role, and Charbonnet, 15 red zone carries to Walker's 8 since week 4. And when things get even tighter inside the 5-yard line, 7 carries for Charbonnet to just 1 for Walker. Charbonnet's the back you want for this touchdown market. And this is a good Seattle team who's 5-2, whose 2 losses came against that game-ending field goal, no time versus Tampa Bay, and that miracle TD catch, if you remember, back in week 1 versus San Francisco. And I think Jake Tungus caught that with under 2 minutes left in the game. Washington, this defense, remember, 44 points allowed 2 weeks ago versus Dallas. Javonte Williams, 116 yards on the ground that game, 19 carries and a touchdown. I think both backs can get busy here. But when it's time to call inside the 20, it's going to be Charbonnet's call, and plus 110 is a hell of a price.
Okay, my favorite prop bet for the game. I'm going to take Sam Darnold's longest pass to be over 36.5 yards. Did you know that Darnold is 6-1 to the over in this market so far this season? He's going to have an excellent opportunity to be 7-1 by the time this game is over because the Commanders are getting beat by a lot of big plays here, guys. They have allowed the most pass plays of 40-plus yards in the NFL so far this season. They're allowing the most yards per reception in the NFL. And Darnold has been airing it out a lot. That's a big part of the game plan here for this Seattle offense. He's tied for the most pass attempts of both 40-plus air yards and 50-plus air yards. First among starters in average air yards per attempt. So give me Darnold. Longest pass over 36.5. Okay, Deebo Samuel. You like him to stuff the stat sheet a little bit? What are we looking at?
Yeah, let's go reception market. Let's go over 5.5. Plus 103 time recording. That's at DraftKings. I think the minus 115s are okay that are available as well. It's been an ugly run for Deebo, and I think that's priced in here. 7 catches, 26 yards over his last 2 games. But his injury in the QB player, obviously a big situation here. McLaurin's out. Jaden Daniels is back in. And maybe we could get back to that week 5 production. Was the last time that this team won a game versus the Chargers. Deebo finished that game, 8 catches, 11 targets. He was targeted on 33% of his routes. Luke McCaffrey, Chris Moore, Jalen Lane. This is not a depth great stable of receivers. Yes, I've bet on them. That's because their prices for touchdowns were in quadruple digits. But Samuel could get peppered in this game. Seattle doesn't give up a lot of yardage to opposing wide receivers, 139 per game, which ranks somewhere in the top third of the league. But they do allow 12.9 receptions to wide receivers per game, which is a top 10 mark. The projection here from the Blitz, which you can find on the Covers website, 74 yards on his 52.5-yard total. So that's a great over as well. And 6.25 catches. The implied price on this, 5.6 catches. Lane, Zach Ertz also show good value over on this market, but I'm going to go Debo. They have to get something going in this Washington offense that hasn't looked great in 2 weeks.
Yeah, the season is getting away from the Commanders. That is for sure. Okay, there you have it. Our best bets for the Sunday night football game. Enjoy the game. Best of luck with your bets, and we'll see you right back here on the Covers YouTube channel for Monday Night Football. Woo!